Hello everyone and welcome. I'm so delighted and excited to introduce you to one of my favorite authors, Dezlee Hancock. Dezlee has an incredible story of conversations that she's going to share with you. So Dezlee, tell everyone what your book is about.
My book is about conversations. And I know some people might say, really? Conversations? But the book tells you why we should be thinking about conversations and what impact it has in everything that we do, and that we're really not thinking about conversations enough.
Tell me the name and the title of it.
Okay, yes, it's Heartfelt Connections. Have courageous, honest, and thoughtful conversations with yourself, God, and others. And that title is very intentional. So connecting hearts, and it's connecting hearts through conversations that are courageous, honest, and thoughtful. Because those three things will encompass everything else. If you can do those three things, then you will have everything else, like compassion, kindness, patience, all of that. And then the last thing that is so important is how you're connecting or who you're connecting with. And my very biggest passion is to connect with yourself first, because that's where your conversations start. And then connect yourself to God, whomever that appears to you, and then go and connect with others. I love each one of those words.
Yes, I can see why. But tell us about each word. Tell us about courageous and honest and thoughtful. Tell us why those were so important.
So we need to be courageous enough to have conversations that connect us. And I think where people got to the point of, I'm not having any more conversations or talking to people, it's because they weren't connecting. And so they're like, this is just not going to be the way I want to do it. And I'm like,
so when people are talking at each other but not talking to one another.
Right, or finding a way to connect. And some people may say, well, connecting hearts, like, I don't need to love everybody. And that's not what I'm talking about when I talk about connecting hearts. What I'm talking about, connecting hearts in that you care for one another. As two people who are talking, we should always be caring for one another. That doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but caring for them and wanting to understand them. That's where the heart comes in. It doesn't always have to be about love. And I think this is what a lot of people don't realize, is there is so many different ways to say the same thing. Okay, you can say the same thing bluntly, you can say it rudely, you can say it compassionately, you can say it kindly. And just a short example of that is just the word sure. You know, somebody asks you something and you can say sure, or you can say sure, or you can say sure. Okay, you've got three different conversations right there on how you just did that tone on that. And you can either say it rudely, you can say it bluntly, or you can say it excitedly. Yeah, so many ways. And I tell people this, I'm like, you can say that, but in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there was a time when you deeply needed these skill sets. Would you share with us why you wrote the book?
I had an experience when I had 4 kids, raising 4 kids and a husband. We were running a business and life just got heavier and heavier. But I had an experience with a daughter that what we called broke the camel's back. It was like this experience just said, something's got to change. And it was an experience where she was 10 or 11, getting ready for school, and I was trying to have a conversation with her, but in hindsight, it didn't work out very well. Anyway, trying to get her out the door in time, but she turned around and she said to me, "Shut up." Now, let me explain those words. In my household, those words were absolutely taboo. So the fact that she knew in our household that was absolutely a no-no. Like, you could say anything else and not be in as much trouble. But she said them. And so I decided I needed to change. I needed to change. And so that's what kind of gave me another one, a kick in the pants to start making a change on conversations. And so
because you were the adult and she was the child, and you recognized that you had some accountability in that particular interaction.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Yeah. I was the adult. I was the one that needed to be better at this. And so I didn't blame her. And when she came home, she did not get in trouble. And actually, we didn't talk about it that much, because what I did, I said, I will be the one to change. I will do this changing, and then everything else will change. And that is exactly what happened in my journey. And so I had this journey about conversations. So that started it, but then in my journey and learning a lot and changing me and changing my relationships was just so amazing. I thought, I'm going to write down a few things that I have learned. So I started writing some things down. Then my next thought was, maybe I'll put a little booklet together this is who it was for a daughter, a sister, and my mother. I'm like, I'm going to do this for them because they need this. They need this. And I knew they needed this because they would come to me with their struggles. So I'm like, okay, they just need this booklet. So as I'm beginning to put this booklet together for my daughter, sister, and mother, I was discovering that, oh my, society needs to think about conversations, because here's what we don't think about, and here's what I realized. So I wasn't thinking about it either, and I realized it. The foundation of society is made up of each individual, okay? So the society is only as good as the individuals combined. We are only as good as, I call it, our soul. It's the body and the spirit and everything together. We are only as good as our souls or our beings, okay? Now, we are only as good as what we tell ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Now, we don't think of that. We don't think that I'm telling myself something, but we are having conversations with ourselves, whether we realize it or not, and whether we want to or not. What we think about is talking. How are we talking? But conversations are different than talking. And then we can go to conversations, but then we don't ever think about the bigger pitch of conversations. And as I was doing this journey and research and changing, I realized that so much changed around me. Not because I demanded that my husband change, or that my children changed, or that when I got on the road, people would drive really nice. Not because I did that, but because my world changed because of what I was telling myself, my conversations. And then when I'd have another conversation with someone, that would be great. And so it all just started coming together. Then, if you break it down, our conversations are our foundation. How are we doing on our conversations? Well, take a look around and come to your own conclusion.
When was this turning point where you said, now is the time for this book to get out? We need it more than ever.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we had the incident of Charlie Kirk being killed by a shooter, if you think about it, about what someone who does that, and there are lots of them, mass shootings, and there's been more that have happened since then, I think about those that are committing these mass shootings and what kind of conversations they're having.
Inside of themselves and with other people,
and it probably was not a very good conversation they were having with themselves. Because if you're having a good conversation with yourself, if you're positive, if you know you have value, if you know that you can go out and help people and that the world looks good, okay, not perfect, but the world looks good, then if those are the conversations you're having, you're not really going to be someone that's going to come up with a gun and go somewhere and cause horrific damage.
I think one thing that I found so extraordinary in your writing and also in your storytelling and the things, when you talk about heartfelt and it's honest and thoughtful and courageous, it's about consideration. And we often don't use consideration towards one another in societal conversations. We're missing that, and that used to be such an important and indelible part of our society, and that has shifted so much. And so in terms of this first be a better you, there's consideration for yourself. And I feel, the stories we tell ourselves are the most important stories. And you really showcase that well in the book with your own personal stories, but then others around you, which is fantastic. I also want to bring up, because you mentioned yourself and God and others. And I noticed that you put yourself first, and then there's this also conversations with God. And not everybody is willing to be that blatant and honest, but this is definitely a part of who you are. Where did that come from, and why do you feel like this is so important in conversations?
Well, it comes from, of course, my belief. I am a person of faith and belief. I believe that we started with God. And again, that may be different perspectives or ways that you think of God, but we started with God. And so if He was the start of everything, then He must be the reason, someone who we can go to help us with what we're trying to do. Not just as individuals, but as a society even. If we can find our soul and get it on a good foundation.
So ask the deeper questions.
Yes, ask the deeper questions. Find out, what is your connection to God? And be courageous, honest, and thoughtful with Him. He's just like another regular conversation, but be courageous to have that conversation, how He can help you find your soul and anchor your soul. And one thing that they need to anchor to is truth, because stability of anything is truth. Anything is truth. And we've got to find our souls and anchor it to truth. How do we get truth? Through conversations. That's how we get truth. Well, if we're not getting that, what are we anchoring our souls on? Because our souls are what comes out when we speak, okay? And what the problem is we're not often recognizing how it's coming out. How is Dezlee's soul coming out? I can often know by a conversation with someone how they're doing inside. I just can, because you can detect the struggle inside, okay? Do we not struggle with everyone else because we're struggling with ourselves? But we don't take the time to have the courageous, honest, and thoughtful conversation with ourselves to go, why am I always contentious when I talk to my spouse? Why am I? I need to have that conversation. Then once you have that conversation, then you can go about changing whatever the struggle is, or just recognizing how you are coming out contentious to your spouse, to your children, to your coworkers, to the check register at the grocery store who's going really slow, and you kind of want to tell her off. Well, why do you? Well, because you got some kind of struggle going on inside. What is it?
So how specifically can your book help? How can it help in an individual, in a family, in a society? What specifically do you wish for your reader to be able to have when they set down your book, remembering it from the beginning to the end? But what are the gifts that you have specifically written into this book?
First off, I would love for the reader to realize that conversations are the foundation of so much, because everything starts with conversations. Everything starts with conversations. So just to realize, just to think about and be aware of conversations would be the beginning point. And then the second thing is, I would hope that somebody would close a book and take accountability for their conversations. So the first part of the book talks about you, as in us, and it is the biggest section in the book. And it's because if you can get that part down, if you can get you down and nailed on a foundation, everything else will come easier. You will see God in your life. You will want God in your life. You will see other people differently. And therefore, you will have different conversations with them. And therefore, you'll have a different relationship. And therefore, we have a lot of therefores, you will have a different life. I want you to love and appreciate and value yourself. I think if we can do that better, other things will fall into place.
So Dezlee, what is your message of hope to the reader?
Oh, I love that question because I have a lot of hope. My message of hope, if there's just one message, it would be that people will find and connect to their hearts and love and appreciate and value and give themselves care, so that they are the best that they can be, because then you can take the best that you are out into the world. And if everyone did that, oh, what a world it would be, instead of getting up as every day and looking at life as a drudgery job. That alone, I mean, just that one conversation that you have with yourself. I have another day, it's great. What can I do? I have value. I can contribute. That one conversation itself. And that's what I do hope people will find their heart for themselves.